Hey guys, Thanksgiving just ended, and that means it's Christmas season. Christmas season is a time of family and fun, service, giving, and Christmas lights. However, hanging up Christmas lights on your house brings up different dangers, from falling off the roof to falling off the ladder, and a lot of people are afraid to do it because of the risks involved. And with that worry comes opportunity for others who are willing to take on that risk.
Unfortunately, at this point, my mic cut out, but to summarize what I said, that every year people make a lot of money going around and hanging up Christmas lights on people's houses, and I was going to go try that and see how much money I could make, and then give my thoughts on how good of a side hustle this was, what you should do to prepare, and if it's even worth your time.
So let's get to it.
We decided to start off at a wealthier part of town, thinking that if people had more money, they would be more willing to pay us so that they could stay inside where it was warm. So, full of optimism and hope, we went up to our first door and knocked. Rang the doorbell. We were turned down but remained optimistic and went to the next door, where not only was I turned down, but managed to record a video of the sidewalk instead. And so continued our door knocking. Some doors would answer and others wouldn't. This went on for a while until finally we saw a woman outside and decided to go up and talk to her.
Excuse me. Hi, sorry to bug you. We've just been going around hanging up Christmas lights, and we were wondering if you guys were interested. No?
Thank you, goodbye.
Of course, thank you.
And with that, we went to the next door, who also didn't answer. But as we left, we were surprised by someone who we think was the previous woman's husband.
Hey, how much do you guys charge to hang lights?
Oh, what do you guys want? How much do you want hung up?
Well, we don't have them. I ordered them yesterday.
Alright, well,
Just the whole top and bottom.
whole top and bottom? So like up there and up there? 150, 200? 150?
Probably don't come for 5 or 6 days. Why don't you do you have your number? Give me your number.
Yeah.
We just potentially made a sale for $150. We were so excited and couldn't wait to knock or ring on more doors. And this we did facing rejection of one kind or another until we finally struck gold.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, what's up?
Awesome. We're just going around hanging up Christmas lights, and we were wondering if you guys were interested.
Hanging up Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Alright.
Awesome.
Oh, let me go get some lights and I'll tell you guys.
Sounds like a plan.
We ended up making another $150 deal with him. And while we waited for him to get the lights, we decided to keep knocking on doors. However, after one door, we ended up talking with the other guy again.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, no problem.
Gutter cleaning while you're up there?
Yeah, we can do gutter cleaning.
I'll tell you the next for that.
Awesome. Or
How about 200 for everything?
200 for everything? Yeah.
Work?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, perfect.
Suddenly, the deal had turned from $150 into $200. We couldn't believe it! $1 deal and maybe a $150 deal. After a while, we knocked on the door of a man who I won't show because he wasn't comfortable being in the video. That gave us some really good advice. He initially asked what we were charging, and after giving him a $150 quote, he told us that we weren't charging enough. He instantly knew that we were new to this and told us that if we were serious about hanging lights, that we needed to get a business license, insurance, and become bonded. He explained that being bonded was kind of like insurance and that it protected us in case we accidentally damaged his house while we were putting up lights. The difference between insurance and being bonded was that this insurance went through a bond company instead of an insurance company. He even gave us a pro tip. We should get business cards because it would give us greater legitimacy and an easier way for people to contact us. As we were leaving, he told us to think about what he had said and to send him a new quote. We did this and later sent him a quote via text for $300. Immediately after leaving, we got a call from the guy who we had a $200 deal with, saying that he was ready for us to come, put up his lights, and clean his gutters. With that, we headed over and got started. My brother worked on detangling the lights while I set up the ladder and got to work on the gutters. Although I wish that I had some sort of brush to help me with the dirt at the bottom of the gutter, I got to work and did the best I could with my hands. Things were going pretty smoothly and I was enjoying myself when out of nowhere, disaster struck.
Okay, hey guys, so that house ended up kind of a disaster. The guy had ordered them from someone and had that guy install them custom made, so he hadn't seen the lights before, he didn't know what it looked like. But as my brother was unloading the lights and getting them laid out so that we could string them, he saw that they were spliced kind of hazardously. They'd been kind of thrown together, and there was splicings that were coming off and ends that weren't capped. Just a lot of fire hazards. And so we went and we talked with the guy. We said, hey, this is too risky for us. There's too much of a hazard. We're gonna have to not do the lights. We're sorry. We'll just clean the gutter for the $50 that we agreed on. Went on to the gutter, and our ladder ended up not being tall enough. And we went back to the guy and said, hey, do you have a taller ladder? He did. And we were going and cleaning along as much as we could. And his ladder ended up just being barely tall enough at some points and not tall enough at others. And his roof was a lot steeper than we realized. And so we couldn't safely work on top of the roof, because that would have been my plan, was just to be climbing around on the roof. I'm used to it. I can clean the gutter from there by walking around because it was so steep. And the ladder wasn't tall enough at parts to reach the gutter. So we ended up only being able to do about a little under half the gutter, which I hate quitting on a job like that, but it just wasn't safe. We learned our limits. Because we did under half, we charged only $20 for the work we did. We were ill-equipped and underprepared.
Although I tried to keep a cheerful face for the camera, we were really discouraged by what happened at that house. However, we refused to give up and decided upon a new plan of action. For the rest of the day, we would only knock on single-story houses or houses that didn't have a steep roof. That way our ladder would be tall enough and we would be able to walk on the roof with greater confidence. This plan gave us motivation, and we moved to another part of town to keep knocking on doors until it was time to go home. Unfortunately, after another hour or two of knocking, no one was interested and we decided to just go home.
Hey guys, we just made it back home and we are done for the day, and here are our totals. So we have $20 for cleaning the gutter from that one guy's house. We have a $150 deal that we set up and we'll be putting the lights up next week. And then we put in a $300 deal for another house, and we're waiting to hear back whether or not he accepts the offer or not, which gives us a grand total of having made $470 today. So not bad. Hey guys, it's been about a week since I went out and knocked doors and filmed and stuff, and while I was editing the video, I decided to give an update on what happened with the other potential deals. That way I could show how much I really made. So with that $300 deal, he texted us later that day saying that our price was a fair price, but that when he talked to his wife, she wasn't interested. So that one fell through. As for the guy who said he'd call us once his lights came in, he never did. So that $150 deal didn't go through, which means in actuality, we really only made $20. Now for my thoughts on this side hustle. If you want to go out for the day and try to make money, don't waste your time. Unless you're really lucky, you really won't make anything. This is a side business that you need to build over time. So if what you're planning is to go and create a seasonal business, then I think that there's a lot of potential in hanging up Christmas lights. Now, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but if you want to do this, I would suggest getting a business license and insurance and being bonded. That way you're protected against any potential liability. And since I'm obviously an expert after my one day of hanging up Christmas lights, my advice would be just to have a greater understanding of what a fair price is, because you're getting paid to hang up and detangle the lights, which takes a lot of time. So you want to know what the going rates are in your area. That way you can be compensated fairly and charge your customers at a fair price as well. Also, you want to know what your capabilities are starting out. When you first start, you probably won't be able to do really tall houses with steep roofs because you won't have the equipment. Because of that, you'll want to start out with smaller houses, and as you gain revenue, then you will be able to get better equipment that will allow you to do more complicated and dangerous houses. My last recommendation is to subscribe to help me overthrow the YouTube algorithm overlord. Have a great day. Peace.